Hello, Doug.
Hello, my friend. How you doing?
Hey, I'm taking a beating, but we have Big George in the studio, whose dad played for the Green Bay Packers, and we have Doug Buffone,
arch rival. Arch rival.
I think, Doug, you might have played in the same era as Big George's dad.
No, I was long before him.
He showed me the uniforms. They look like the meat packing uniforms.
They do.
From the
Oh yeah, that goes back a long way.
They were.
There's no question about that Green Bay Packer uniform.
Hey.
Right? But I'll tell you one thing. They were proud to wear it. They did a great job, those Packers.
Did you play, Doug? I know the answer to this question because I'm a big fan, and you were in my era when I was a kid. In the backyard, I was Ron Bull, I was Johnny Morris, and I was Gale Sayers. Those were your guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Rudy Bukic was quarterback in, I think, at that time.
I was always Butkus or Buffone.
Well, that's because you were on the other side of the bush. But Doug Buffone, that had to be one of the hardest hitting. Just tell us the guys that you played with. The guys that were usually would go 8-8 for the season, but everybody you played said, hey, you know what, I hope we don't have to play the Bears again.
Got beat up.
Yeah, they're killing them.
Oh, there's no question about that. You can start with, I played 14 years with them, with the Bears, and 9 out of those 14 was Butkus alongside of him. He played the middle.
Yep.
So obviously, he took no prisoners. And you had Big Doug Atkins, who also took no prisoners.
Love Atkins.
He had big hands, didn't he?
He was defensive end, wasn't he?
Oh yeah. I mean, he was a Hall of Famer.
Right.
What about Ed O'Bradovich?
OB, damn it. OB was tough. OB and I played on the same side together.
Oh man, he was mean.
Oh yeah. We do the post-game show together, and I'm afraid to be alone with him. Okay, right now.
I don't blame you.
Is he still mean? Come on.
I'm just scared to be alone with the guy.
We were talking about this guy the other night. One of our friends played, I think he might have played with Green Bay or Minnesota. Now I can't remember his name. But we were talking about Conrad Dobler. What a rat he was. But I don't think he made the team originally. I think he had to come back, or they called him back. Did you have to line up against this guy?
Yeah, you know what? He played offensive tackle coming out and guard sometimes, but he would get into it. I mean, one guy didn't with Butkus, though. Those two used to block corners all the time. But Dobler, I always thought Dobler, everybody said he was a dirty player.
Yeah.
I just thought he was a tough player. I mean, I didn't really, because that's kind of the way we played back in those days, There were certain things you did do.
Yeah, but I heard that after a couple of piles that he left some teeth marks on people. Any truth to that?
That happens, Preach. I keep
say it.
He wasn't alone, put it that way.
Yeah, I keep telling Preach that happens.
Didn't they feed those St. Louis Cardinals before the game? Would they starve them to death to make them meaner?
Well, whatever it is, I mean, a lot of those guys, it's not uncommon somebody take a little nip out of your finger or, take a chop as a towel up or whatever, Well, a lot of things they let you do, and they used to, in the game, the referees were there, but the fact was that the players regulated the game. If someone got out of hand, did something bad to your team, well, then next you turn around, you did it to them.
Were you still playing when Mike Ditka clotheslined a fan that ran across the field?
Crutch, yeah. Crutch.
Dick Crutch, the Bears.
Yeah, Crutch.
Yeah, the guy come running across the field, and Ditka just stuck his arm out.
Yeah, lit him up. I mean, a guy doesn't belong on the field. I don't know what the hell he was doing on the field anyway.
I think Ditka said, you want to play football? Here's what it feels like.
It is, yeah.
Did you ever come with Dick Butkus down to John's Pizza in Cal City?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, great time.
Yep.
I used to see him there all the time. He lived out by me in Linwood, Lansing area.
Right, exactly.
He's still got a brother that lives out there.
Yeah, no, Dick was strictly south side, and we would go and I'll tell you what, you can talk about, and Nixie was a good football player, don't get me wrong. I mean, there's nobody that matched Butkus as far as playing that middle.
Doug, you should have got the role in The Longest Yard that Nitschke got. I thought you would have been a good guy to play that role.
Well, I tell you, it was in Brian's song,
See, I don't think, but
Bradovich were in Brian's song, so Ed got some lines. They wouldn't give me any lines.
Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that a little bit because it was last year we got to sit down with Gale Sayers, and he had his book was out, and of course I had a copy of Brian's song that I took over there. Gale is one of, and I'm sure you'll agree, he's just one of the most honest, straightforward, cool guys that I've ever met.
Yeah. He is that. I mean, no question. In fact, we're only playing, 5 years or 6 years? And I remember doing stuff with Gale, too, and I played with him for 4 years, and I'd sometimes interview him with the score and that, and they always talk about Gale Sayers like he was another person.
Right.
You'd say, yeah, Gale did this, or Gale ran that way, or Gale saw this, and he was so amazing. What was so amazing about him was that not only did he play regular, but the fact was, think about it. Everybody says, well, Hester gets tired. Well, Gale did also returns too. Gale did the punt return, the kickoff returns.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
All of that.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
I saw him, I think it was against the 49ers? He scored 6 touchdowns in one game.
Yeah, 6. Right. They pulled him out, too. They had another one, but anyway, they didn't want to break it. And the other guy I played with, Walter Payton, was another one. I played 4 years with Walter, too, and both these guys were, class. I mean, they were guys that
Peyton never got tired.
No, Peyton just hurt you. That's all there is to it. We want to talk about one more guy, Doug. And Doug, I know you're still doing that 670 to score stuff. This year, if you want, I can call you and give you some pretty good NFL picks. But I'll give them to you behind the scenes. I'm pretty good at it, and I keep hearing you guys every year taking a beating between you, North, and the rest of these guys. You can't pick no winners.
See, my point is I'm setting everybody up, basically.
Right. Sneak up on them.
I couldn't pick a game. My life depended on it.
Sneak up on them from the blind side. I wanted to mention we've had also Paul Horning as a guy that's been on with us several times.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when he comes to Northwest Indiana, he always gets together with us, and we have some pops and have some fun. He told me a story about Ditka, more recent story when they were in Cincinnati. Did you hear the story when Horning just gave him a hip shot and Ditka fell off the stage?
No, I saw that.
Oh, you saw it?
Well, they showed it somewhere, and somebody who got thrown off the stage?
Ditka got thrown off the stage.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Because, and apparently I know because Mike had the hip problem.
Exactly.
Yeah, and Horning.
Horning gave him a little hip check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Knocked him down.
Knocked him right off. He was like a turtle on the he was like a turtle on the floor.
Oh yeah.
Hey, were you there for Who You're Crappin'? Did you go that far back when
oh yeah, I've been there since that.
There was an afternoon on the show where he was giving out the address, something like 20. I'm at 23 Washington Street.
That's right. Now whip your ass.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll whip your ass. Yeah.
That's exactly what he said.
Big
Come on
Mike.
up, I'll whip your ass.
Now George and I have both been down in New Orleans many times, and Ditka was down there in New Orleans. Is that one of the cities that you'll go down to and have a party?
Well, I went down there when they had the Super Bowl. Obviously, I was down there for that.
85, yeah.
85, and Mike had his restaurant down there, but that's been long gone. He's moved it out. He's got one in Pittsburgh now, and got districts here in Chicago.
Yeah, the one in Chicago, Doug. I used to live 200 East Chestnut, and
you're right there.
Yeah, I was right there in the Seneca Hotel. Dicka's in the old Crickets restaurant was a Tremont, I think.
Yeah, the Tremont, exactly
yeah,
right.
Exactly. Yeah, the beautiful place. Do you go up there once in a while?
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay.
We go up there, and a lot of times meet there or meet some guys there. He has a lot of things he does with retired players, because they're promoting, trying to get the retired players some more income, some more pension, and all that stuff. And Mike's been leading the charge on that. So yeah, a lot of us go up there a lot of time. And not only that, I know it's called Ditches, but the food is outstanding.
Oh, the food's great. The steak Diana, he's got the biggest pork chops I've ever seen. I'm not talking about
the pork chops.
I'm not talking about the ones on his ass either.
Oh, top shelf pork
Hey,
chops.
before let's give us some insight on this holdout that really was kind of silent until they settled it. How's that going to affect this year's season?
Well, I'm going to tell you something. I kind of liked it myself because it made everybody make a move after it was over with.
Right, they were going nuts.
You start signing people, this going, that going, and it was hurry and get it going and get it done. But it's probably going to hurt somebody's team with the younger players. The younger players where they're going to come out and they didn't learn, the playbook and also the quarterback, the younger quarterbacks. But I don't see anything problem with what's going on. Some of the rule changes I'm not big on. I mean, who the hell wants? Why do you want to kick off to the 35 for?
Well, Doug,
give the ball to 20 then if you want to do all that. I don't get that rule change.
Can't they put that? What was that formation with the guy in the middle and it looked
flying
like
wedge?
Yeah, the flying wedge.
Yeah.
That thing. Put that thing back
Hey,
in,
Doug,
man.
you think we're going to see more injuries because of the less conditioning?
You know, you're seeing something now. You're seeing more pulls and stuff like that. You know, little muscle pulls.
Yep.
You got hamstrings,
strains,
that kind of stuff. And I got to tell you, though, the guys prior to that, you don't need all that stuff they had before, though. I'll say this, you know, all those OTA camps and all this and that. They didn't need to do all of that. But I don't know in training camp if one-a-days is the answer, and without pads. I mean, let's face it. When they start the season, they're only allowed to put pads on once a week. You know, no one hated football, especially at training camp when I played. I mean, I hated it. But I got to tell you, there's something to it. There's something about getting yourself down in and getting used to it, because it's just not a natural thing. So we'll see what happens in the course of this year, and I think it may hurt the tackling at the beginning of the year.
It puts you in shape mentally and physically.
You got to get used to getting hit a little bit. Otherwise, you're going to get your block knocked out. Before we let you go, Doug, are we going to go, or will we see soon an 18-game season, less pre-games, more regular season games, which I think would be great?
If they do that, then they're going to have to increase the roster by at least 6 or 7 people. I mean, you can't have guys running on kickoffs, covering kickoffs, playing regular and all that.
Right.
If they want to do that, then they're going to have to put more people on the roster. You know, again, too, the exhibition season games, well, hell, we played in 6 of them.
Right.
Exhibition, and we played them. It wasn't like, hell, we played Green Bay Packers every year, exhibition. We played them 3 times a year, and we're playing them in Milwaukee, you know, but the fact was we played more than 3/4 of that game.
Didn't you guys used to play the college all-stars at Soldier Field?
Oh, yeah, well, I played in that. I played against, I was a college all-star, and you played against the NFL champs, and at that time, it was the Green Bay Packers.
That's right.
I played against Packers with Jimmy Taylor and Horning and all those guys.
Give us a prediction for the Bears this season. What are we looking at?
Well, I'll tell you, last year I was off. I said 8-8. The way they started out, I thought that's the way it was going to go. But they really managed to come on at the end of the year. But a lot of things lined up for them. Teams lined up for them. Injuries of the teams that they were playing against to hurt.
Schedule didn't hurt them either, Doug.
9-7. I don't know. 9-7 would be something like that. If they could do that. If they can do better, if that offensive line, we'll see something more. You know, guys, pay good attention Monday night against the Giants and see what happens as far as the protection for the quarterback goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't really address the offensive line. They lost Kreutz, and I just don't understand what they're doing. I really don't understand it. I really don't. If Cutler goes down, the Bears will be lucky to win 1 game.
Well, you know, the thing about it is that, you know, everybody's on Cutler's bought him the way he plays. Now, let me tell you something. You can't throw the football laying on the ground. You've got to have somebody out there that can and they protect you so you can throw the football. Now, the Bears want to throw. And I'm going to say this. You know, I was one of those guys that always said, you know, run the football, stop the run, and pressure the quarterback.
Right.
I got to tell you, the game has changed. And now you can run it, and you may win during the regular season. You're not going to win the playoffs unless you have the quarterback. And the proof of that is Aaron Rodgers. What happened with the Green Bay Packers. They didn't have a running game.
Yeah, he's awesome, though, man. I mean, that guy's extraordinary. He's talented.
He comes on strong. And every one of them, all the guys that are competing, take a look at it, are getting to the playoffs and getting to the Super Bowl. It's a quarterback-driven league. And that's why it's important that if you do get a quarterback you think could be a franchise quarterback, get somebody to help them. Get some linemen. Get some wide receivers.
Get some receivers, yeah.
Whatever you have to do so they can score. You've got to score. If you don't score, you've got a huge problem.
You got to protect the quarterback. Hey, if Brett Favre was sitting next to you right now, what would you be talking about?
Who?
Brett Favre.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. They got the sound going.
Brett Favre.
Oh, if he was sitting next to me?
Yeah, what would your conversation be?
Well, I'd probably ask him to see if he had any pictures of himself. Take a look at.
How did I know that was coming?
My head.
Hey, pull your pants down, man. I didn't know it was you.
Yeah, you got any self-portraits?
All right, Doug. Hey, it's great. I always check you out on the score. I'll continue to do that.
Oh, I do too.
I wish we were out there with you, man. You come over here, we'll buy you a steak over at Freddy's Steakhouse.
Guys, it was a lot of fun. Thank you for having me on.
10-4, thanks for coming.
Thanks, Doug.
Doug Buffone, an absolute legend in Chicago football.